This is Zikri with the 22-day weight loss program. I'm going to show you how to make a simple Cowboy coffee that you can use for your first 7-day fast, or you can use when you're traveling long distances, because eating just doesn't matter when you know how to make a good Cowboy coffee. Alright? So at home, I have a coffee maker. So I buy organic coffee beans from Costco. Alright? I do like organic coffee beans, and the reason for that is coffee beans or coffee crops are one of the most sprayed pesticides laden crops in the entire world. So if you drink as much coffee as I do, you really should be drinking organic coffee. But if you want to just drink, any kind of coffee maker is just fine. Just try to make sure that it doesn't have too much added junk into it, okay? So I put the coffee in here. I get my coffee cup here. I have actually bought myself something called a Contigo travel coffee mug. I think I bought this one at Target. They're relatively cheap, like 20 bucks. At first, when I started making these things, I used to use a blender. And then I found out that most blenders don't handle hot liquids very well. And after running through a couple blenders, I switched to this. So what I end up doing is I make my coffee and I pour the coffee in here. Then I add cinnamon. I like Saigon cinnamon. Okay, this is just happens to be the one I use. Oh, it's good. Adds in there. Also, if you have trouble with blood sugars, like I am, was pre-diabetic, now I'm completely cured of that. It helps control your insulin and your glucose. Okay, so cinnamon in there. Next thing I put in there is a tablespoon of coconut oil. So that's about 100 calories. All right, you put it in there, it's gonna melt really, really fast. Okay. And then the next thing I use is cultured butter, okay? I put 1 to 2 tablespoons of cultured butter in there. I also tend to use organic grass-fed butter, and the reason for that is because the omega-3, omega-6 ratios are better in grass-fed animals. And like I said, I do this actually, I only eat once a day, but I have a Cowboy coffee in the morning and a Cowboy coffee at lunch. So the ingredients I put in there needs to be really good. If you want a little bit of sweetener, I tend to use stevia. Okay, stevia is the only sweetener that I recommend, period. Studies have shown that it spikes your insulin less than aspartame or sucralose or anything else, and it doesn't have a lot of the other artificial processing that goes on with those sweeteners. If I'm traveling, I tend to use the packets instead, all right? Okay, so make sure when you buy the packets, I like Sweet Leaf because it's a pure brand. If you go to Costco and get something like Stevia in the raw and you look at the labels, it has something added in there called dextrose or maltodextrose. Those are all fancy names for sugar. So they got a sweetener with no sugar in it, and then they added sugar, so it kind of defeats the purpose. All right. So coffee, pour in my mug, put my cinnamon there, 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. All right. Couple drops of stevia. I take my top, clump it on, and this is why I bought this particular one, because it's got a bomber lock-proof top. I slam it shut and I shake it, 10, 20 seconds, so everything's mixed. And the reason you want to mix it is because the oils will stick to the coffee beans, so that'll give you a slower burn, more even burn, and you won't get those jitters, those coffee jitters, all right? Now, if you don't want to use coffee because you're not fond of coffee, you can use green tea. You can use any kind of tea. Or if you want, just drink water. But I find I really do like my coffee in the morning. I really enjoy it. And having it mixed with those ingredients gives you... So I drink my coffee at 6 in the morning, and I'm good till like 11 a.m. or 12 noon. And then I have another one, and I'm good till dinner time, 5, 6 p.m. And then I eat one meal, okay? And of course that meal is a keto meal or a low-carb meal, okay? So anyways, that's how I make my Cowboy coffee. For your first fast on your 7-day, I recommend you do the same thing. You make it just like I did, have it as your first cup of coffee, and then have it as your second cup of coffee at noon, and then do your meal once you hit that 24-hour point. You'll be so proud of yourself. It's like today I just came off of a 48-hour fast, and the only thing I had for those 2 days was Cowboy coffee. Oh, bone broth too. I did add some bone broth with some salt in it. But that's it. And I checked my ketones and blood sugar at the end of it. At the end of 48 hours, my ketones were 2.2, my blood sugar was 83. It was perfect, okay? So this is Zikri from 22-Day Weight Loss Program. I hope you enjoyed that. and write me how your first day fast went. Okay, thanks.